Welcome into the Fantasy Football Diagnostics Podcast, where we provide you with your weekly diagnosis of everything fantasy football. Whether it's season-long leagues, dynasty, DFS, or sometimes even IDP, we got you covered all year long. Let's do it. Let's get to it. Welcome into the Fantasy Football Diagnostics Podcast. And of course, on this Monday evening, I'm your host, John June. And of course, got my guy, Greg Penniman. Greg, what's shaking?
What's good? What's going on? I mean, week 9 is about to be over. We got one more game going. This Bears Steelers game. Hopefully that's a nice little exciting cap off to underdog weekend, man. Underdog weekend was definitely the scene of yesterday and Sunday, and yeah, a lot of letdowns by some teams we thought were good. I don't think anyone's good in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I really don't know what to think. Yesterday felt like, I know Stranger Things is back, but I felt like we was in an upside down world yesterday. It just things that we did not expect to happen happened. So with that being said, week 9 recap, let's break it down. We got to break down those studs, those top 12s at each position, highlighting those top 3s, but we also got to break down those Jags, those guys that you could have went on the waiver wire and you pick somebody up and put them in, and it could have had a better day. Let's start with the quarterback position, man. And the number one player on the week, that would be the Herb, Justin Herbert, 32 of 38, a career high 84.2% completion percentage, 2 passing touchdowns, 14 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown there, 31.6 fantasy points. Greg, what were your thoughts, man, of the Herb, man?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how he has started the week potential in this game. I mean, he's playing the Eagles defense that I think he, did very well against a competitive game. Only got that 3-point win, but a huge win for them. And yeah, on the road, Herbert came through, got Minnesota next week. So yeah, this is a good bounce back from, 2 straight losses for the Herb. Continue to see this grow with Keenan Allen now as the one alpha.
Yeah, I was a little bit lower on Herb coming into the week, man, but the matchup here against Philadelphia, it was relatively good. Just Herbert hadn't been playing well over these last couple weeks, so it was definitely good to see him have a get right game here against the Philadelphia Eagles. Moving on to the quarterback 2 on the week, man, and this one, we kind of said it. The matchup doesn't look great on paper, but when Lamar's got those legs, he's gonna get cooking, man. And so Lamar Jackson, 27 of 41, especially when you get Lamar a negative game script. That is beauty. 41 pass attempts for Lamar Jackson here. 27 of 41, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Also added 21 rush attempts here. Like my man accounted for 62 plays of offense for the Baltimore Ravens here. Those 21 carries led to 120 yards, 30.6 fantasy points. Greg, what were your thoughts, man?
Yeah, this is classic Lamar. You love to see what he does here. Yeah, I mean, he's one of the most electrifying, if not most electrifying player in football right now. In comeback mode, we get those crazy carry amounts. So he did it again here. Season high in rushing yards this year and 120. Yeah, continue to roll him out there as QB1.
Definitely, man. Definitely. And tell me if you saw this one coming, Greg. The quarterback 3 on the week, man. Matt Ryan, 23 of 30, 343 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Also added 8 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown there. Matt Ryan was moving around a lot in this game. He actually even did one of the craziest pump fakes I've ever seen in my life by a quarterback, where he's running and then he dead plants both of his feet like he's about to drop back and pass. And the defender comes flying by, and then he just starts running again. Ooh. It was honestly one of the dopest things I've ever seen. So, Greg, what are your thoughts here on Matt Ryan's performance here in a thrilling game against the New Orleans Saints, where they almost pulled off an upset of their own?
Yeah, definitely nice spot.
Oh, sorry, they did pull off.
No, Atlanta got the win. Yeah, Atlanta got the win for sure on Younghoe Koo got the game-winning kick. So good job by him. Yeah, Matt Ryan playing well. Got 343 yards, season high for him. Without Calvin Ridley, it's good to see. Using Russell Gage, so you know that second time around, that second week is when they come through always. But yeah, good to see him use Kyle Pitts and use his targets and weapons well. Got Dallas next week, so should be a nice little fun game too.
Definitely, man, definitely. Rounding out this top 12 here, Josh Johnson coming in as the QB4, coming in relief here. The quarterback 5, Carson Wentz. 6, Teddy Bridgewater. 7, Kirk Cousins. 8, Jimmy G. 9, Dak Prescott. 10, Baker Mayfield. 11, Jalen Hurts. And 12, Colt McCoy coming in for relief of Kyler Murray there. Not relief, actually, just starting in place of Kyler Murray, the injured Kyler Murray. But, Greg, what were your thoughts on the overall top 12s here?
Yeah, I mean, Lamar and Herbert, like the names you usually see. Dak got that all in garbage time. But other than that, yeah, good to see Hurts fall in there as well. But yeah, it was a very weird week, for sure. A lot of Jags we definitely want to get to, but other than that, shout out to Colt McCoy for coming in, stepping up. You know he's gonna be he's one of the better backup quarterbacks in this league. So good job on him for keeping the Cardinals out there.
Yeah, I got to throw the UT
yes,
up
sir.
to hook them horns up one time. But nah, man. I mean, Jalen Hurts, like we said, we talked about the matchup is tough. The Chargers are a great pass defense, but Jalen Hurts was probably going to fall into a QB1 performance because of the leg usage there. Kirk Cousins, top 10 performance there, comes in as a quarterback 7. Kind of saw that coming. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, Baker Mayfield having, himself a top 10 performance here on the, first game in the post Odell Beckham Jr. era. So
he hit Donovan Peoples-Jones very well down the field.
He did. Let's talk about some performances that weren't so good this week, man. And headline in this Jags performance, I'm gonna start with Josh Allen, who faced the Jags themselves, and also faced Josh Allen.
Yeah, easily the number one storyline of Week 9, like easily.
Was Josh Allen of the Jacksonville Jaguars intercepting Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills? The first time that you've had a player intercepting a player with the same name as him.
Trifecta too. He got the sack on Josh Allen. Got the fumble recovery also from Josh Allen, and got a pick. The trifecta all in one game on Josh Allen.
NBC Sports Edge headline said Josh Allen loses game and name.
Yeah, everyone was on this.
They refer to him as like Joshua Patrick Allen now. Like you get the full distinction because you're no longer Josh Allen. It's okay. Josh Allen's gonna bounce back, man. These guys have these days every now and then. A guy who showed up on this list more times than we would like, Patrick Mahomes II.
Yep.
You're gonna get the full government here, Patrick. So what are your thoughts here? I know this is Greg, this is like pulling at your heartstrings here right now to talk about Patrick Mahomes in this light, but can you give the people an insight to what you're thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, this is a little trend. I mean, 2 straight games, and in general, just throwing a lot of picks this year. Had a couple bad games, which is not where you see. Maybe you used to seeing one bad game from Pat Mahomes a year, if any. So yeah, moving forward, I mean, you're gonna keep riding him. He just has to learn how to, take what the defense give him. They still feel frustrated, trying to maybe not get those big plays, which is part of their offense. I mean, we can't not say it's not part of our offense, but yeah, they got to learn how to take what the defense is giving them right now, or they can, maybe sign a person that wants to be on a contending team that's on waivers right now, maybe,
I mean, I think honestly, that's what they like. we make all the jokes about Sammy Watkins, but I think they're honestly missing
Yeah,
that presence in their offense, right? Like that number 2 receiver that can consistently beat one-on-one coverage. Because Miko Hardman, he's made the flash plays and all, but he has not been consistently that guy. And they signed Josh Gordon. Haven't seen the dude since they signed him. So I think getting a guy like Odell in there to be that presence for them to say, hey, if they give you one-on-one coverage, we're gonna get you the ball. And playing in an offense where you got Tyreek Hill, you got Travis Kelce, there's gonna be some opportunities for some one-on-one coverage there. So definitely would it's unfortunate because when you draft Patrick Mahomes, especially we thought this was the year, like, hey, this guy's gonna go nuclear. They've upgraded the offensive line, the weapons around him are gonna be great. Like the price is worth it, but he's coming in as the quarterback 9, and it kind of just goes back to what we've always said, which is this is why you go quarterback late, because Jalen Hurts is the quarterback 6 right now, and you were getting him rounds and rounds later than you were drafting Patrick Mahomes. But obviously, when Mahomes does have those big 30, 40-point games, then we understand why it was worth it there. But some other Jags on the week, man, Derek Carr, Joe Burrow,
Joey B,
Sam Darnold, who looks like he might not even have his job for much longer in Carolina if he keeps playing the way that he's been playing. Any other Jags that stuck out to you? I mean,
Daniel
Tua
Jones
didn't play, so Daniel Jones. I mean, yeah, I guess Daniel Jones was in like streaming territory.
He was,
So, I think that's really it.
Matty Stafford, thought he was going to have a better day against the Tennessee defense, who maybe he's playing better, but you expect him to not have those basically 2 pick sixes in a row. That's kind of brutal.
It was like 11-second span or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the running back position, and starting with the number 1 running back on the week, Greg, you were saying, hey, with all these injuries, James Conner might be the guy you want to play in these matchups or in this matchup here. And boy, were you right. The number 1 running back on the week, 21 carries, 96 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Also got to see a little vintage James Conner here. 5 targets, 5 receptions, 77 yards, and a touchdown there. 40.3 PPR points. We know that, obviously we'll discuss it later, but Chase Edmonds is dealing with a high ankle sprain. He'll be out. Seems like he might get a stint on the IR, so you might get more weeks like this from James Conner going forward. Greg, what are your thoughts here on the performance from James Conner?
Yeah, this guy's leading the league in rushing touchdowns right now. He's just balling out. Excellent runner before this, leading up to this point from the red zone, and now he just fully unleashed in this game. Looked very fast out there, very healthy. He's like probably the most healthy he's been in his career right now. And yeah, he looked really good, and he's a bona fide RB1 without Chase Edmonds, and not even close. He's going to get the usage. Got 21 carries in this one. He can work in the passing game as well. He's a dual threat. So yeah, top 5 play I think going forward, RB1 without Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, he looked like Pittsburgh James Conner, like early, I forget what year it was, but whatever year Le'Veon held out and he got the job. But he looked explosive, like you were saying. He looked fast out there, looked violent in the open field. So James Conner, I agree. He's an RB1. With Chase Edmonds out, it's going to soak up all this volume there. The RB2 on the week, somebody that I thought would be the RB1, but James Conner had something to say about that. Jonathan Taylor, we discussed him already, but 19 carries, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also added two receptions for 28 yards. That was good for 34 PPR points. Anything you want to add on JT, Greg? We covered it, right?
Nah, we covered it. JT's a man.
Moving on to the RB3 on the week, Nick Chubb, man. It's a long time coming, it felt like, but 14 carries, 137 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Also added 2 targets, which he converted for 2 receptions. 30.3 PPR points. His stat line and JT's stat line are almost identical. It's actually really, really funny. They both fumbled, just didn't lose it. 30.3 PPR points. But Greg, what were your thoughts on the performance by Nick Chubb?
Yeah, I love the fact that he's highly, like, extremely efficient in this game. The thing you said about him and JT, they were similar. Not enough carries. That's what I need, more carries. There's no reason. Nick Chubb, 137 yards on 14 carries. That's ridiculous. So yeah, he averaged almost 10 yards a carry. Like, that's a first down every time he got the ball, pretty much. And I still would like to see his target numbers get up there. But yeah, this man is a monster, and just give him the ball more. No Kareem Hunt. He should be getting the ball 20 carries a game.
I mean, to be fair, they're up 41-16. Nick Chubb is, he is their offense. I mean, like you said, both these guys, JT and Nick Chubb, both over 9 yards a carry.
Crazy.
JT 9.1, Nick Chubb 9.8. But you all know my thoughts on Nick Chubb. I've consistently said he's the best pure runner in the league. If he's definitely top 2, top 3 up there in terms of pure runners, and so love watching him run, man. But rounding out this top 12 here, Joe Mixon, the RB4, Naheem Hines, the RB5, Alvin Kamara 6, Cordero Patterson 7, Melvin Gordon 8, Devontae Freeman 9, Kenyon Drake 10, Myles Gaskin 11, and Dalvin Cook coming in as the RB12 here. Greg, what are your thoughts on the performances of these top 12 running backs?
Yeah, good to see Dalvin Cook in RB1 territory. Melvin Gordon, both the Denver running backs had a pretty solid game. Melvin Gordon getting that touchdown, so that kind of what made his RB1 day. But Javonte Williams also had over 100-yard day rushing. And yeah, Christian McCaffrey, just good to see him. He's getting around that area again. And Devontae Booker, thank you for your services, man. This man did what he had to do every week in and week out, man, being that plug and play high in RB2. Saquon should be back after the bye.
Definitely, man. And Jordan Howard also came through as a fill-in this week. Josh Jacobs, the game script didn't go what we thought it would, so he took a little bit of a back seat there, but still finished as a top 15 back. Elijah Mitchell got involved in the pass game a little bit, which kind of saved his day. I know a lot of people were concerned about the possibility of him losing some work to Jeff Wilson Jr., so good to see him be involved. And then Ramondre Stevenson also had himself a decent day there, finishing, I believe, as a top 20 running back on the week. Yeah, finishes the RB20. So now to talk about the not so goods. Starting with, we had some Austin Eckler finished outside the top 24. This was supposedly a good matchup for running backs here against the Philadelphia Eagles. Just for whatever reason, was not, got the touches, was at 20 opportunities here, failed to reach over 100 yards from scrimmage. So, just not the greatest day there. Aaron Jones finishing as the RB44 on the week, attached to the Jordan Love-led Green Bay Packers. That was not great there. A.J. Dillon did finish as the RB17, though. So, that wasn't entirely all impossible there for someone to have a good day. Darrell Henderson suffered an ankle injury mid-game, but was able to overcome that, but not overcome it from a fantasy perspective. Then Jeremy McNichols, who I made my start of the week, that was more like a face plant because that did not lend itself to any fruitful fantasy production. Neither did Adrian Peterson, who did have a rushing touchdown, but
Tennessee just had good field position thanks to like the picks and just they started the ball. It was tough.
It was a tough week overall. But Greg, any other people you want to shout out as a Jag this week?
No, I think you covered pretty much them all. I mean, you would like a better day for Michael Carter at this point. I think I expect top 25 day from him every week, but I think he should be all right.
This is true. All right, let's get to the wide receiver position. And the number one wide receiver on the week, we discussed him in pretty in depth. I mean, maybe a little bit, but maybe we'll see. Elijah Moore played on Thursday Night Football. 7 catches on 8 targets, 84 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, 27.4 PPR points there on the week. Greg, anything you want to add to Elijah Moore for his his rest of season outlook or things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I do like his talent. Definitely for dynasty leagues, you're very happy. You're chomping at the bit right now for his future prospects. Corey Davis should expected to be coming back soon. So I'm not sure how that's all three of these guys, him, Crowder, and Corey Davis, are now going to be in play. A team that will probably be throwing the ball more, especially if Mike White is at the helm. So maybe this is a area where all three can have top 30 value. So yeah, I would definitely still have him as a stash, definitely for at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think with regardless of who, whether it is Mike White or if it does end up being Zach Wilson again, which head coach Robert Saleh did say today that when Zach Wilson's fully healthy that he would be the starter, but that Mike White probably will start this week against Buffalo. But I think they will be a team that throws the ball more. I think that they've gotten a little bit more comfortable doing that in recent weeks. And so Elijah Moore, I think, will have some role, especially, he's a little bit different than Jamison Crowder in terms of, Jamison Crowder is that possession receiver. It's going to play closer to line of scrimmage, where Elijah Moore will make some plays down the field and make some plays with the yak. So I like to, to have that, I think, perfect blend of like PPR ability, but as well as like having some deep playability as well.
Yeah, I would definitely want him on my roster for sure.
And the wide receiver 2 on the week, man, I guess, just when we were thinking, hey, maybe this is not the week, he goes out and he says, John, Greg, shut up. I got this. Devontae Smith, 6 targets, 5 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown, good for 22.6 PPR points. Greg, what were your thoughts here on the performance by Devontae Smith?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to explain. I mean, I can explain it because he always gets the usage. He gets the outside. He got 6 targets again. Another game over 5 targets. Now he just did something with them in this game. In limited opportunities. It's a great game. If you drafted him, you're probably still dishing him out there. So hopefully we're able to bench him. And hopefully this offense could more in the passing game could get more right, because they seem to rely on the running game this last couple of weeks a little more. And they've been in games. It seems like Jalen Hurts has been playing better and when they're running the ball more. So hopefully they can get back to kind of being more balanced.
Yeah, I mean, it was Devontae Smith got some catchable balls this week, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So Jalen Hurts played better. Devontae Smith will naturally play better. Like we said, the snap percentage didn't change, the target totals didn't change. The only thing that changed was the 83% catch rate versus the sub 50% catch rate that he's had on the year. Moving on to the wide receiver 3 on the week, and start of the week here from Greg. Keenan Allen, 13 targets, 12 catches, 104 receiving yards, 22.4 PPR points here. Greg, what were your thoughts on the start of the week call that you made here on our guy Keenan Allen?
Yeah, definitely love the matchup here. Love to attack it. This is a classic Keenan Allen stat line, like the 13 targets, him getting a high number, and 104 yards. So I love it. Love the 100-yard day. Love the 10+ targets. You definitely see a shift happening with from Herbert to Allen to from Mike Williams. So love to be the manager of Keenan Allen right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you were able to buy Keenan Allen, like we've been saying for weeks now, kudos to you. But this dude has been, he's been, again, like you said, taking over that alpha role, regaining those targets there from Mike Williams. And just to think that this guy hasn't produced in the end zone what we would want him to.
Yeah.
So there could be some positive regression there. Rounding out the top 12s here at the receiver position, Olamide Zacchaeus. Wow, I just butchered that. I had it too. I'm like, I know I've heard this dude's name on the games, on the telecast so many times, but I'm sorry. I'll get it next time, bro. I promise. Hollywood Brown coming in at 5. Cooper Kupp, man, coming in at 6.
You already know.
Malik Turner. Greg, you had Malik Turner in your
lineup, yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Coming in as the wide receiver 7. Our guy, Brandon Ayuk, coming in like it. Tim Patrick 9, Hunter Renfrow 10, Michael Pittman Jr. 11, and Robert Woods also tied with Michael Pittman Jr. at 11. So he actually was 12. We'll throw Justin Jefferson in there for, as the honorable mention. But Greg, any other? Was you any of these guys' performances in the top 12 stuck out to you, or are there any, honorable mention performances that you want to highlight?
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow definitely played well. Definitely like Brandon Ayuk's performance. Hollywood Brown continues to be a wide receiver 1 this season. Like there's no doubt about it. And yeah, that Russell Gage, man, that comeback. It's always the second week, man. You love to see it. 8 targets, 7 for 64.
Yeah, my favorite I guess storyline out of this week, you obviously know it's got to be Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah,
made it back to the wall. I mean, in week 8, right? And this is compliments of Jared Smola on Twitter at SmolaDS. Week 8 usage: 88% snap rate, 97% route rate, 25% target share. In week 9, 93% snap rate, 94% route rate, and a 20% target share. Those are 2 straight weeks of 88+% of the snaps, 94+% of the routes, 20+% of the team targets. We had another week. We call that a trend. But your boy won't be waiting much longer than that to get him back in his lineups.
Who's his quarterback going to be though? Will that even affect him? Like,
might be. Don't even get started.
So I'm saying, like,
once Trey Lance, you're right. Once Trey Lance enters the mix, and all hell breaks loose again.
They're gonna play the Rams next week, so they're gonna probably be another loss. Like they're so I don't know. Time's running out for Jimmy G. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Donovan Peoples-Jones, like you mentioned, had a solid outing as well, showing off as the new deep threat here in the Cleveland Brown offense. Christian Kirk showed well. Considering the circumstances, you got no D-Hop, no AJ Green, no Kyler. You still put up a wide receiver 15 finish, 6 catches, 91 yards. I like that there by Christian Kirk. And then Jalen Waddle, just again, continuing to be a target hog. Good to see no matter who the quarterback is. We know Devontae Parker has been placed on injured reserve, and he'll be out for the remainder of the year. So Jalen Waddle, man, is just going to be a target monster here for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, for sure.
But we got to talk about the Jags, man. I'm going to just throw some names out there, Greg, and tell me when you feel pain. A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Kadarius Toney, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Tyreek Hill, Van Jefferson, Julio Jones, Adam Thielen.
DJ
Did you
Moore?
take
Did
the
you say DJ
spot
Moore?
on Rondell Moore?
I mean, I had to in some league, but I didn't know. I wasn't proud of it.
Even our guy Jamal Agnew,
Oh man, yo, it's a rough week, man.
Amari
Rough week.
Cooper.
Who? Oh, CD Lamb.
Oh, CeeDee Lamb.
Oh man, I mean that missed them on two like layup deep balls that they usually connect on. So I'm not gonna put it on
It
CD Lamb.
happens.
I just yeah, I know. I just watching that
Courtland
game. So.
Sutton.
Sutton. Oh man.
Did I say Kadarius Toney? Oh, Kadarius Toney. Oh, and Kadarius Toney and Kadarius Toney, Kadarius Toney. Sorry, I just felt from that one.
Yeah, a lot of names.
Yeah, a lot of names. All right, well, let's move on to the tight end position. And this, talk about the upside down world. This one felt like
we're home.
Like, yeah, we're home, right? Like, this is how things are supposed to be. The tight end 1 on the week.
Word.
George Kittle.
Yep.
8 targets, 6 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown there. Did lose a fumble, but still got 20.1 PPR points. Greg, your thoughts on George Kittle?
Yeah, it's going to be the nice and easiest section. George Kittle, you know who this man is. He coming back off IR, doing what he got to do. Yeah, you love to see it. You love to see, the usual suspects play well for San Fran. Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle in the same week.
Absolutely, and you love when you get usual suspects at the tight end position.
Yep.
The next one here, tight end 2 on the week, Travis Kelce. 8 targets, 5 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown. 17.8 PPR points on the week. Greg, your thoughts on the performance here by Travis Kelce?
Yeah, great performance from him here. Got that only touchdown that Mahomes was able to throw. So you love to see him get in that end zone, get targeted in the end zone. 8 targets as well. He's going to be fine every week. Love to see him back in that tight end 1 category.
Gotta love that, man. And then the tight end 3 on the week, Greg.
Wow.
Would you believe it?
It's crazy. It's like I typed in 2019 to 2021 fantasy football tight end rankings.
Darren Waller, 11 targets, 7 receptions, 92 yards, 16.2 PPR points. What were your thoughts on the performance here by Darren Waller, Greg?
Yeah, excellent performance by Darren Waller in the losing performance, but the 11 targets, target high. I mean, it seems like, after definitely with the absence of Henry Ruggs, his target number should just explode, honestly. It should just keep going up. They should only be relying on Waller and Renfro, honestly.
Until they start throwing deep bombs to Deshaun Jackson, who has reportedly signed with the Raiders. But love to see that by Darren Waller. The usage there, the 11 targets, 92 receiving yards. Gotta absolutely love that, man. It's like the top 3 tight ends had a party and no one invited Mark Andrews.
No, yeah, I mean yeah. It's okay. He's been balling all year.
This is true. Rounding out this top 12 here, the tight end 4 on the week, Steven Anderson, tight end 5, Donald Parham, tight end, also tied for tight end 5, Jeff Swaim, the tight end 7, Evan Ingram, also tied for 7, Ryan Griffin, the tight end 9, Jared Cook. Wow, the Chargers had
3 tight ends, yo. That's crazy.
Crazy. Tyler Higbee comes in at 10. Dan Arnold comes in at 11. And Hunter Henry coming in as tight end 12. Greg, other than the Chargers getting 3 tight ends in the top 12, any of these other performances stuck out to you?
Oh, definitely Evan Ingram. I mean, he also got another touchdown against you, another tight end 1 week, so that's good, even with a slow offensive day for the Giants passing wise. And yeah, Tyler Higbee also a tight end 1, and Dan Arnold. Yeah, Dan Arnold has been a very nice
steady Eddie.
Yeah, steady Eddie. Yeah. Team high in second in team, I think, in targets, or team high in targets 7. So yeah, even a horrible game played by Jacksonville, he still was able to be relevant. So that was nice.
And there wouldn't be I mean, we'll throw out Tyler Conklin as an honorable mention. He got it done. You know,
team on targets. You know, like
yeah. And he's got another good matchup next week, so this is like a 2-week stream.
Yep.
With Tyler Conklin.
Definitely.
And there wouldn't be Studs if it wasn't for Jags, because you actually need the Jags, right? Because then the Studs wouldn't really stand out.
Right. It's relative here.
So Mark Andrews, he said, you know what? I don't want to go to the tight end party this week. I'm going to stay in the Jag section for a week, since one of us must stay in the wreckage, brother. Quoting Dark Knight Rises. They must find one.
When Bane, he sacrificed his life for Bane. Foolish.
Kyle Pitts, Dallas Goedert, apparently Al-O got hurt.
He did. He left with a knee issue in that game. So
I did have him on the list, but I will remove him. Dalton Schultz and Mike Gesicki. We used to think Mike Gesicki needed Jacoby Brissett or somebody who wasn't Tua, but then he started playing well with Tua. Now he doesn't play well with Tua. That made my brain hurt.
Yeah, too much.
Any other tight ends broke your heart this week, Greg?
No, I mean, didn't really expect too much without, the Hawk being out this week. Just hoping. I was expecting a more exploding day from Tyler Conklin, but he was able to get you some points. He didn't give you a dud, so that's cool.
No, definitely, and the 7 targets is nice, right? Like, if we go out, we make a call like that, and the dude walks out with like 1 target or 2 targets, like you can't really back that. But when he walks out with 7, there's nothing you could, it just didn't, ball didn't bounce his way. So, let's get on to the waivers portion of it. And in terms of some injuries, Trevor Lawrence for the Jags, he has a low ankle sprain, so should be fine for this upcoming week. Chase Edmonds, he has a high ankle sprain, like we previously referenced for the Cardinals, could go on injured reserved here. And then remember, we have bye weeks here, so we are entering week 10. So in terms of bye weeks, we got the Chicago Bears, the Cincinnati Bengals, the New York Giants, and the Houston Texans. So be mindful. Those players, if you put them in your fantasy lineups and they play for those teams, more likely than not will not get you any fantasy points. So, Greg.
Unless they get traded from now, or dropped and it wavered. Yeah.
Yes, that is a way. Greg, what do we got in terms of waivers? And let's start. Let's see. Chicago, Cincinnati. All right. Let's say you're missing Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Missing some Daniel Jones. You picked up Tyrod, and now you're looking for a quarterback.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Teddy B first. Teddy Bridgewater. He's 26% rostered. Got Philly next week. He's got 4 games over 250 yards. Got 249 this week, so I'll say he's basically 5 at 250 mark. Is a good performance by him. Shocker in Dallas. They played really well. He's able to get to all his players. So I would probably lean on him in this matchup with Philly. Be a competitive game, so I think some points would be had. Mike White, man. I mean, if you're really looking for a quarterback, if he's healthy and ready to go out, the matchup is a little tough against Buffalo, but with the way he's been playing right now, I think in the way the Jets want to throw the ball, I think he's in some streaming conversations for sure. And lastly, Trevor Siemian got the start and was able to put up a good performance, numbers against streaming conversation in this week. He's got Tennessee, a better matchup for sure. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I wanted to mention Jimmy G, but I'm not really sure how his job is going to be, coming in if you put him in and then he's not even in there by the second half going against the Rams. But he did put up 326 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also 2 weeks in a row now, he's got at least 300 passing yards and 2 total touchdowns. It's just a matter of does this coaching staff, believe in him and they want to move on to Trey Lance soon.
I saw one of the funniest tweets earlier today by Matt Miller, formerly of Bleacher Report, and it was like, imagine thinking that your current quarterback isn't good enough to trade, so that you trade 2 first-round picks to trade up to draft a quarterback, and then that quarterback can't beat out the quarterback that you didn't think was good enough.
That's a tough spot to be in. Definitely a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, so quite interesting here. Greg, what about the running back position, man? That's always a position fantasy managers are clamoring for. It's a position they're looking to add off the waiver wire. Who do you think can make an impact for fantasy managers off the waiver wire potentially this week and maybe in the future?
Yeah, I think who I'm looking at this week, first, I'm probably looking at Devontae Freeman first. He's 20% rostered. They have Miami next week, so talk about an amazing matchup for that team in general. He got 15 total touches this week, got a reception touchdown, led the Ravens backfield as far as, his role. The role is starting to settle in. Le'Veon Bell also got some work. So if you kind of missed on Devontae Freeman and you're desperate, Le'Veon Bell's probably add, but I'll probably put money on Devontae Freeman if I not a huge percentage of my budget, but if I go get him, if I'm maybe out of Chase Edmonds and I'm struggling right now. Jordan Howard after that, he's 13% rostered. He's got Denver next week, 17 carries this week for 71 yards and a touchdown. He's a lock for double-digit carries every week until Miles Sanders returns. So he's in that RB3 to that low end RB2 range with that touchdown. He's got 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games, also averaging 14.5 carries over the last 2 games. So he's definitely going to be there usage-wise. And then lastly, Carlos Hyde, 34% versus Indy. Depending on health with James Robinson, it was a dud of performance, but the usage it was crazy. He got RB1 usage. The man got 22 carries. He had 95% of the RB opportunity. So yeah, if James Robinson misses more time, if you're gonna give me a guy that's gonna get 22 carries, I'm gonna put him in my lineup every week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
that's understood.
Yeah,
it's understood.
Yeah.
Remember, Frank Gore was getting 20 carries last year.
That's crazy. That's crazy. There's room for someone. Well, 4 teams on a bye. RB2, you're gonna need somebody. Let's keep monitor James Robinson. Hopefully, he can come back. That's what we're hoping.
All right, Greg. What about the wide receiver position? Who's gonna hold us down over there?
Wide receivers, as far as those stashes I like, Rashard Bateman and Elijah Moore. I think those 2 are the guys that have the most upside out of these 2. Brandon Ayuk, I think, is he's still a little rostered over the 50% mark. I can double check that, but I do think I like
check on one of my 45 fantasy teams, which have Brandon Ayuk, and see his percentage.
So yeah, those 2 guys I feel like are nice stashes to continue to monitor.
Yeah, in Yahoo leagues, Brandon Ayuk is 61% rostered.
Yeah, word. So if he's still available in leagues, it's time to make that ad and get him right back. He's coming on home now. And then for people that can give you weekly wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 value, Tim Patrick, 25% roster versus Philly next week. He was second in the team on targets. Teddy loves to continue to spread the ball, but what Tim Patrick has is that deep playability that can get you a good day with that upside. I think Tim Patrick has a solid upside because he might not lead the team in targets, but he'll get the deep down the field plays that you'll need from especially a quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater. Russell Gage, he's 16% rostered. They got Dallas next week. He was definitely a popular ad and then a popular drop. So if you're desperate for a receiver that can get you, a wide receiver 4 flex value week, this 8 targets, I like that number for sure. And then the last 2 for deeper leagues, Deontay Harris going against Tennessee next week, 15% rostered, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's 13% rostered. Got New England last week. Also, again, boomer bust type deep play ability that kind of Tim Patrick has, but Tim Patrick's basically on the field every play.
Definitely, man. Hey, and if some reason maybe Seattle players were dropped, Russell Wilson comes back this week.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
We know what that means for the entire Seattle offense.
Yep.
That
Hopefully Chris Carson
includes
come back too.
You said what?
Hopefully Chris Carson can come back too.
Yeah, him. I'm a little bit more pessimistic about, but I was gonna say if Alex Collins was dropped, I definitely if we were playing Alex Collins in a Geno Smith offense.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely playing him in a Russell
We're
Wilson
playing
offense.
him in a Russell Wilson
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah, yep.
I actually, Greg, if you were the running back in the Russell Wilson offense, I would play you. So
Appreciate
it doesn't, it doesn't matter who it is. What about tight end, Greg? Anybody we want to potentially look to pick up off waivers there?
For tight end, Dan Arnold, 17 targets over the last 2 games, over 16 receiving yards each of the last 2 weeks. Yeah, he's 27% rostered. I think if you definitely need help at tight end, he's definitely a play. I would spend money on Evan Ingram after that, 40% rostered. Again, another touchdown in this game, a great athletic play. I think with Daniel Jones' better play, you see Evan Ingram continue to see the ball, and he's healthy. If you're healthy on the Giants, you have a role, except Kadarius Toney this week. And Tyler Conklin, again, 38% rostered. He's still out there versus the LA Chargers. Another excellent matchup next week. Thursday game, he had at least 5 targets. He tied the team lead with Thielen this week, so the usage is there. And then a deep league speculative ad is Adam Troutman. He did see a lot, also 7 targets from Trevor Siemian, 25% rostered versus Tennessee. If you need something, go get him.
He played like poop, though.
Yeah.
I don't like Adam Troutman, but he played like poop. Did just get an alert. Take it for what you will. Remember, we put coaches in a bucket, and we have the wire bucket.
Hey, man, I spoke it into existence, man.
Pete Carroll
Carson.
said that Chris Carson won't be on the field on Wednesday, but he didn't say he'd be practicing. Just said
he
he'd
could
be on
a
the
bike.
field.
He could be,
on a bike. Could be standing on the sideline.
AB, man. I mean, AB's still in the walking boot, so
still in the walking boot.
Just hoping that one of them can come back.
We will have to see. But if you don't check the news or anything like that, and we're your only way of finding out, then we'll catch y'all on Wednesday when we break down Thursday night football. And as the Miami Dolphins take on
I didn't even know a Thursday night game.
Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, we can see Lamar on Thursday night? Ooh, let's go.
Lamar prime time, let's go, baby.
Yes.
But until next time, y'all, we love you. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for vibing with us. Thank you for kicking it with us. And until next time, peace.
We out.